Hey there, I'm Jessica Rennie. I'm the Education Manager at Walk Bike Nashville, and I'm going to talk to you about how to navigate the 51st Avenue bike lanes. So now I'm coming towards the bike lanes from Centennial Boulevard. So I am on the north side of the 51st bike lanes, and I'm going to be taking a left and then head south down 51st. So as you can see, I have a bike lane as I'm approaching the intersection. I'm going to use this bike lane to then get into the bike box to make my left turn. So you've probably noticed some bike boxes around Nashville. They're awesome to get you as the biker in front of vehicles so that you are visible to cars in that intersection. One thing to note though is just be careful as you're approaching a bike box and make sure that you're noticing the light cycle, because if that light were to change green before you can get into the bike box, then at that point forego the bike box and just carry on in that bike lane to make that left turn. So just something to be aware of with bike boxes. So here you notice the light turned green. I have the green arrow, so I'm going to go ahead in front of that traffic and go ahead and take a left up onto the very start of the 51st bike lane. Notice it is a sidewalk, and so I just want to be sure that if there are pedestrians on that sidewalk that I'm giving them the right of way. I'm riding at walking pace. Now that you're in the bike lane, you'll notice it is a two-way cycle track, so we have a bike lane going each direction. And as you're riding, you'll also see green paint along the way. So that green paint is there to indicate potential conflict points for cars and bikes. So it usually, you'll see green paint at intersections where a car might need to cross over that bike lane in order to make a turn, as well as you'll see the green paint at some driveways, like in this instance here. So again, cars may be coming in and out of that driveway, so you'll just need to take extra caution at those particular points. So we're approaching a stop sign. We are a vehicle on the road, so I'm going to stop at the stop sign just as I would if I were driving a car, and I'm going to wait my turn to go. It operates on a first come, first served basis, just again as you would in a car. All right, so now we are going to get onto the 51st bike lanes coming from the south side of 51st heading north. So right now I'm on 51st Avenue south of Charlotte Avenue. You'll notice there was a painted protected bike lane that then becomes a share. So then I'm going to merge into the car lane with traffic. And then as I approach the traffic light at Charlotte, you'll see the painted arrows for which direction each lane is going. So I want to go straight to get into that 51st bike lane. So therefore I stay in that middle lane. I know that once the light changes, I'm going to head towards the right of that lane because I do have a bike lane on my right. The bike lane lasts through this block, and then at that point I can stay to the right or I can merge to the center of the lane at the next traffic light. And at that next traffic light is technically where the 51st bike lane begins on the left. So if you wanted, you could merge all the way to the center lane, then make a left turn to get into that 51st bike lane on the left. However, I think the safer option is to continue straight as I'm about to show you. All right, so now that the light's changed, I'm going to carry on straight through the underpass. At this point, the road is a share, so I'm choosing to ride kind of in that right tire track of the travel lane for vehicles. So as I'm coming under the underpass, you'll notice that we encounter another traffic light. So at this point, I'm going to signal left, and I'm basically going to treat this as a left turn. But instead of turning left onto that street, I'm actually going to then get into the bike lanes that are on the left side of the road. So once the coast is clear, at this point I'm signaling, I'm scanning to make sure there are no other cars coming. I'm turning left, and then I'm going to go immediately right to get into that two-way cycle track on 51st. So that's how I chose to enter, coming from the south side. That is one option. Another way is if you don't feel comfortable making that left turn, as I just did, at this point you could ride straight, and one of the many benefits of riding a bike is that you can also become a pedestrian. So you can choose to pull to the side. At this point I'm going to dismount, get off of my bike. Once I'm able to, once I have the walking symbol, I'm able to walk my bike across this crosswalk. Once I make it across all travel lanes, at that point I would then get back onto my bike and then carry on into the bike lane. So now I'm going to talk us through a few examples of getting off of the 51st bike lanes. So in this case, just like in the last example, let's say I don't feel comfortable crossing all those lanes of traffic on my bike. So I have the option to dismount and then cross at the crosswalk. Obviously, in doing that, be sure that you're signaling to other cyclists that may be continuing on straight in the bike lane, as well as looking for other cars as you're crossing over the crosswalk. Another way you can exit the 51st bike lanes is if you feel comfortable doing it by bike. As you approach the intersection, you would begin signaling, scanning to make sure there are no cars coming in either direction. Then you would go ahead and make that turn. So from there, you could get onto a cross street, or you could continue on into that right car lane. So in this example, I'm continuing into the right car lane because I know I want to exit the 51st bike lanes onto Centennial Boulevard. As I approach that traffic light, I have the option to turn left, go straight, or make a right turn. And then I know at that traffic light that I want to take a right to continue onto Centennial Boulevard. So that got me from the 51st bike lanes on the left side of the road all the way so that I can then make that right turn onto Centennial Boulevard. Now we're going to look at an example of exiting the 51st bike lanes at the very end at Centennial Boulevard. So in this example, as I'm approaching, again crossing through intersections, I'm going to be looking to my left and right to make sure there are no cars turning. And then I'm going to get onto the sidewalk of the 51st bike lanes. So also, as I mentioned earlier, looking out for pedestrians in this case. So I have one of two options. Here I could stop. If I were to go left onto Centennial Boulevard, I would act like a pedestrian, go through that crosswalk, then get back on my bike to go left or to go straight at this particular intersection. The other option as you approach is to then position yourself in the car travel lane so that you're able to go straight if you want to continue onto Centennial Boulevard heading east. I'm going to show some examples of getting onto the 51st bike lanes from the various cross streets. So in this case, I'm going to need to cross all of the travel lanes in order to get onto the bike lanes. So as I'm at a stop sign, just as I would any other vehicle, I wait until it is my turn to go, until I have the right of way. Crossing those lanes of traffic, I'm going to signal to put myself into that bike lane. In this example, I'm approaching the 51st bike lanes and they are on the side of the street that I'm currently on. So it makes it much easier. I just stop at the stop sign, wait until I have the right of way, signal to cars which direction I'm going, and then enter the bike lanes. The last example is if you're riding in the bike lane and you then want to make a left to turn out of the bike lane. You would basically treat this as if you were a car driver. You stop at the stop sign, wait until you have the right of way, signal, and then make your turn. Again, be sure, since you're crossing so many lanes of traffic, that you are aware of the other drivers around you. So we hope that this video has been helpful in allowing you to navigate the 51st bike lanes, and we just want to give a big thank you